Am I the asshole for excluding my in-laws from an important family tradition that I only do with my kids? I am a widow and I don't plan on remarrying ever. My wife passed when my youngest was born. We live in walking distance to where she was buried, and every Christmas Eve we will walk to her grave and put a flower on her tomb. It literally takes 20 minutes at most and is something my kids and I hold dear. When my son married, we all had a conversation and agreed that we will keep it private tradition. My DIL understood and just chilled at the home when we went on our walk. She started to make hot cocoa for when we get back, and now that is a little tradition. The issue is my SIL. My daughter has talked to him and explained that she doesn't want him during the traditions. I thought this was the end of it and I was so wrong. I got a call asking me why I am not family to him and that he needs to go to this tradition. I told him he is family, but this is a private moment. He called me a jerk and told everyone I excluding him. Now my DIL is in on it and she wants to go. That they are family, so I need to let them go. I told both of them no and they are pissed. My kids are mad at their partners and I am wondering if the family is a jerk for keeping them out. Edit. I talked to DIL and asked if about his honest opinion about the tradition. She was confused and got a different story. She thought her and SIL were being excluded from the gift exchange ski trip. She is fine with the tradition and enjoys the hot cocoa tradition. I asked if she could rope SIL in on it and she said she will try. This was a misunderstanding, which also explains the confusion from my son. My daughter called me and told me she handled it. She made it very clear she doesn't want him at the event. I also contacted the rest of my kids and asked their opinion, and all of them are okay with still keeping it with just us. My youngest has the strongest opinion on this. So I just kinda solved itself, though I haven't heard my daughter that pissed off in a while. Not the asshole. Maybe the phrasing can be interpreted as kinda mean only family, but goddamn, can't people just have things for themselves? Your daughter married in AH and his assholery has now infected your previously healthy daughter-in-law. They weren't a part of the experience of losing your wife, their mother, that you tragically share with your children. This has nothing to do with anyone but the three of you. That they can't see that is beyond self-absorbed. Is this some kind of macabre FOMO? Seriously, WTF is wrong with them? Not the asshole. No, what the hell, lol, you're not the asshole. It is entirely fine that you and your children take 20 minutes to acknowledge your wife's passing, visit her grave. It doesn't mean that you don't consider your DIL or SIL family. It just is a tradition between you and your children, the ones who truly knew your wife and know what it was like to lose their mother. Why in the world would anyone fight for the chance to go visit the grave of someone they don't even know? Not the asshole. I don't understand this. I make sure to participate fully in my husband's family and feel very welcome. I still allow for certain times when my husband just spends time with his parents and siblings. I don't join in on Mother's Day, Father's Day, and even certain casual gatherings. Allowing that nuclear family bonding time without my presence is important, even though they love the hell out of me. I also spend time doing things with my in-laws without my husband. Not the asshole. These people never met your wife. I don't understand why they aren't respecting their spouse's wishes and allowing you a half hour alone as a family to visit the grave. You are not the asshole, and I hate for you that people are getting so wound up over something that takes up less than an hour and that you don't want it to evolve into a total goat rodeo. How did your daughter put it to your SIL? Sounds like she might have been less than tactful. Can you suggest that SIL and DIL and any future grandkids, etc. be part of the hot chocolate making part of the tradition? Not the asshole. I want a private moment with my kids and their deceased mom on Christmas. I would show them this post so the world can see what we think of them. I think they are selfish. Not the asshole. When my MIL was buried, she wanted only immediate, related family there. I didn't go, SIL didn't go, but BIL was, as the kids say, but hurt and tossed a stinker of a fit about it and went anyway. We all hate him to this day. I wish his wife, her daughter, had had the balls to tell him to stay home, but she doesn't have much intestinal fortitude in general. Stick to your guns. This is a lousy hill for them to die on, please pardon the pun. Not the asshole. I'm married to someone who lost a parent at a young age as well. Whenever things come up concerning the deceased parent, which did a fair amount when we were wedding planning, I defer to my husband and respect his opinion. If he wants me there, I go and stand by his side in support. If he doesn't, that's his choice and right. Your SIL is the AH if for no other reason. Your daughter told him she didn't want him to join and he didn't respect that. Not the asshole. These people didn't know your wife. It's crazy that people can't let their SO do things without them, even when family is involved, or they get but hurt and feel left out. Not the asshole. The tradition started before they even knew your kids, and it honors a person that they have never met. They can butt out for 20 minutes. Some other commenters have asked about adding the grandkids when they come around, too. Well, now it's a circus instead of this solemn thing. I understand the tradition, but you have to recognize that the family is growing and changing. What's going to happen when your kids have kids of their own? Are you going to pull them away from their children on Christmas Eve? Are you children never going to allow to visit the in-laws over the holidays, assuming they live out the area? Is there a significance to the date, or can you move your visit to the tomb to another date? Not the asshole. It is a beautiful tradition. It is a shame that this drama was added to it. I hope things go back to being in peace within the family. Happy holidays. I'd ask why they want to go. Their being stroppy over not being included seems just silly and a bit childish. Not the asshole. However, traditions do change. Also, what about grandchildren? I can see you wishing to include them in the future. I personally don't understand why your SIL or BIL would want to visit your wife's grave, but you may need to reconsider how this very sweet moment plays out going forward. Do your children want their spouses to come? While I can respect the fact that you want to keep it private, I can also see how a spouse could be hurt by the idea of "we don't want you here." Families inevitably evolve. Their spouses are now your children's family. What happens if when they have their own children? Exclusion like that is the kind of thing that could screw a child up. But I will say that the way my husband's family circled inward when my in-law had cancer put a barrier in our marriage, so I understand feeling like you want to be part of something like this and feeling boxed out. I can see both sides. Not the asshole, but the phrasing family tradition isn't helping you here. Remembrance tradition or remembrance visit might be better, and avoid confusion when grandchildren appear on the scene. Glad to hear it was just a mix-up with the DIL and your daughter has set her husband straight. I'm curious why you and your children don't want the support of your chosen loved ones. Why are you so fixated on excluding them? Info: have you ever gotten counseling for yourself or your children? From all your strange, not kid-friendly comments, it seems you're just having them relive this trauma every year for your sake, and you don't want outsiders there to make them realize how messed up it is. Not the asshole at all. It's ridiculous that you and your kids are dealing with this. It seems like they're just going to keep at it and make Christmas a living hell. What about a compromise if they walk with you to the cemetery, and then you and your kids approach the grave by yourselves to have your private moments? That way, you still be within eyesight of the assholes, and hopefully, that will appease their FOMO tendencies. Not the asshole. They didn't know your wife. Why would this 20 minutes be the hill they want to die on? It's not family, it is your wife's children and widowed husband. BC, it is her grave you're visiting. I think you need to be careful here. I think it sounds like a lovely tradition, but not all traditions last forever. Having a private event with just your children on Christmas Eve is unlikely to work forever. What will you do about grandchildren? What if your daughter is nursing her kid? What happens if one of them decides not to spend every Christmas Eve with you? I think this sounds like a misunderstanding, so that is good, but I think you need to think about the future. Flexibility and love is how families stay together and build traditions together. ESH man talk about some hardcore gatekeeping. Fuck it, be crude, only those that have been in her can come to the event. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.